I'm Lloyd by when I fuck.
Guy when you're looking, guy when you're looking.
Yamakwego iruja dupu penje no ba kena dun lew. Yemu ko ba kena dolar piemba elwe toy ke ben dolar adu. Ikin bang tundunga dolar kidal. Kuran kin dolar dia juwen kin makwe kwa kwa kin dolar kage. Yamakwego iruja dupu penje no ba kena dun lew. Yemu ko ba kena dolar piemba elwe toy ke ben dolar. Tundunga dolar kidal, Quran kin dolar, biaki wen kin makwe, pakoi kin dolar kagya. Jama kwe loy ruja dupu penja no ba kena dun lew. Yanu kwa ba kena dolar piamba, yalwel toy ka ben dolar adu. Dikin bang tundunga dolar kidal, Quran kin dolar, biaki wen kin makwe, pakoi kin dolar kagya. Dikin bang tundunga dolar kidal. Kin dolar biao juwen kin makwe kwa kwa kin dolar kagya kin bang tundunga dolar kidal Quran kin dolar biao juwen kin makwe kwa kwa kin dolar kagya jadana yom kula yom kala yom be dom be magala par majong awan kijama be jigama tialam dan panu kunga utong agur betong
Yeah. Welcome to Lake State Media. Majog Makur Malak and Abraham Awolich, Dr. Emmanuel John, Michael Ngok, and in the clubhouse we have Dr. Deng Aruai and Joseph Abraham Majak, and all the audience ping die through the Facebook and YouTube. We welcome all of you into this very important conversation politically. So thank you for your tuning in. Yield mic back to you, Majuk, to start the program.
Thank you so much, Isaac Paul, to our viewers, Lex Media. Welcome. Today in the studio, we were supposed to have around 6 guests or 5. Currently, we have 3 on the podium and 1 person in the clubhouse. The people on the studio currently, we have Abraham Awolich, as you have seen him. We have Dr. Sunday John, you have seen him there, and we have Michael Ngorkuchak. These are 3 guests that are on the studio, and on the clubhouse side, as you have heard earlier from Isaac Tiang, we have Dr. Deng Aruai, the brainchild behind the idea that we all need to discuss this afternoon, this evening, this morning. This depend on your time zone. Secondly, Our discussions, as the viewers, will not take long. We'll also mind about the time, and we are behind. So we're supposed to start exactly at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we were behind for almost 1 hour plus. So we'll try to squeeze our discussion within 1 hour. So if you are there, kindly share the live show and pay attention, and your questions will be pulled up later on by the Lex Media, the studio president, Isaac Temple, will pull up your question later on, and the panelists here will answer your questions accordingly. Thirdly, most of you were against the discussions, other followers of Lex Media and South Sudanese. But the reasons to why we provide this platform is simple. A society that discusses ideas is a society that defines the solutions to our problems. And if we don't discuss them, then some few may think to believe that the ideas they write across social media platform are good. So it's good to discuss them so that we know which side to lean onto. So currently permits me to give each one of them 1 minute to introduce himself and maybe ask the opening remarks before we dive into our conversation. So to begin with, allow me to invite Michael Ngorkuchak. Give us your opening remarks within 1 minute, and then we move to Dr. Sunday, and then to Abraham Awolich, back to Clubhouse, Deng Bolaro. Yeah, Michael Ngor.
Yeah, thanks you, Mujong Makul Malak. First, my greeting to the rest of the team members. Koika Dai, Kujela Koika was in this show. I'm engineer Michael Ngor Kuchek. I'm South Sudanese. Now, I'm currently in South Sudan. Now I'm in Afanal region, Mulut County. So thanks you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Engineer Michael Ngor. Dr. Sunday. Unmute yourself.
Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Majong Makur, Tiang Paul, Madid Majak, and my fellow panelists, Dr. Abraham Awolich, and engineer Michael Ngor Kuchak. I greet you at this hour, Ms. Al-Khair. I am Dr. Sunday Dejon, a South Sudanese in exile, somewhere in Africa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, South Sudanese in exile. Yeah, bro.
Yes. Greetings to all of you in Lake State Media. I am Abraham Awolich. I'm a member of the PCCA, but I'm outside the country at the moment, and I look forward to having this discussion. I admire Lake State Media for their dedication to public discourse, and greetings to the panelists, Dr. Sunday, Engineer Ngor, and Dr. Deng Aruai, and to the leadership of Lake State Media. Greetings to all of you, and to the listeners, South Sudanese. Greetings to all of you wherever you may be. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Abraham Adit in Clubhouse. If Dr. Dengbol is available, please, the chance is yours to give us your opening remarks within 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moderators of Lake State Media. This is Deng Aruai. I am very sorry for being late. I am actually on transit heading to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and then on to Upper Nile State. So that's why I cannot on screen at the airport. So I greet all of you, ladies and gentlemen, viewers of Lake State Media, all of you. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I believe the conversation that we, the people of South Sudan, have been waiting for all these years has finally come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deng Aruai, for your time. And we ask you to make sure let your network be stable so that many South Sudanese or the audience will get your message clearly. To begin with our audience, I ask you once again to share the live show on your different platforms so that we have many South Sudanese who may listen to the ideas of these young South Sudanese minds. To begin with, Dr. Deng Aruai, it has been 1 week now plus since you came up with an idea of the Republic or the Nile Republic. And you are not the first person who came up with such idea. There are people whom we refer to as separatists here in Clubhouse for the last 2 years or 1 year plus. These are from equatorial regions, and they have been advocating to have their own independence nation, and that is equatorial region. So you follow the same footstep, and you came up with the Nile Republic, thinking that South Sudan's best solution is to be divided into 3 countries, and each region will be independent state. Kindly, Deng Aruai, can you tell South Sudanese, convince them, what prompted you to come up with such an idea? Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's important that I clarify, and I agree with you. This is not my own making. I did not coin the word or the name, the Nile Republic. This is something that a lot of people have actually floated with all these years. You could say it's only that the time had not come for it. Secondly, the idea came up and it was born out of frustration out of wars, out of all the failed dialogues, the failed agreements, the failed attempts to stay together as a people with shared history and common agenda of liberty and freedom for all. Something that did not work out for perhaps over 90% of all of us as the people of South Sudan. And as I have said several times, that there is no solidarity in suffering. We, the people who are now calling for the separation and for the establishment of a country that would like to call the Nile Republic, decided that it is time that we do not bother other people who may be either loyal to what is happening or that are too afraid to talk or that are uncomfortable to tell the truth, to say we don't want to bother you or push you to something that you are not interested in. But if there are voices in Upper Nile who want to delink themselves from what is happening in South Sudan, we would like to establish something we call the Nile Republic. A few of us agreed, and that is how we are now advancing it. We have 3 tracks, or we can call them frameworks. The ultimate goal, the end game of this, which we wish we could have like today, is an independent country called the Nile Republic, to replace what is now called Upper Nile region. Now, if this is not possible for obvious reasons, then the people of the Nile Republic are willing to enter into conversation with the people of South Sudan on the kind of unity that we would like to have that is good for all, that is not just on paper and not just a spoken word, but something that can be practiced, that can be seen and can benefit everybody. And that would be regional confederation, where each of our 3 regions have their own government. And we have an example. We have not created anything new. Everything that we, as people of the Nile Republic, are advocating for are the reasons why people met in 1947 in Juba. The same reason why people picked up arms in 1955. It is the same reason why the Anyanya 2 went to the bush in 1975. The same reasons why in 1983 there was another war that started in Bor. And finally, the reason why over 90% of us voted for separation in 2011. None of you here will doubt that these are reasons that are worth considering. The same problems that we were in before are the problems we are in today. What has changed is the face. Salva Kiir does not look like the leader during the 1947 conference, and doesn't look like the person of 1955 and of 1975 and of 1983 and even 2011. But is one in the same. The same thing to the supporters. The people who have entrenched President Kiir to commit these atrocities on the South Sudanese people may be different color, may be different tribes, but they are acting exactly the same way that those people who provoked us in 1947 are currently acting. So basically, we said we want out using all these principles. And we had asked, based on what the SPLM-SPLA had proposed, that if unity is not going to be attractive, then we want confederation. And of course, we had gotten it. That's why we had government of Southern Sudan. And at that time, we managed our things a little bit okay. Until we were on our own. Then we started now discriminating against each other. And that is now when we began to behave the same way those people we left in Khartoum treated us. And there's a solution. The solution is when you feel mistreated, you can basically ask to leave. And that is what we are asking. We don't feel like we are going to liberate ourselves. We have no one to liberate ourselves from, and especially if we are talking about Upper Nile. Those are our homes, our villages, our boomers, our counties, our states, and our region. If we agree that we are going to defend it, there's nothing that can stop us from it. Third is the idea that many people of South Sudan, and I'm glad my brother Abraham Awolich is here, is someone who is very knowledgeable. He knows everything about the national dialogue. He has written extensively on the issues of South Sudan. And he's a political dissident like me. He has struggled. And he will tell you more that the South Sudanese people have always had a desire to build a united, prosperous country without any issue. So we also proposed, if it is not possible not because it's not possible, but out of sympathy, and if we are convinced that there is no need to break apart this country that we all contributed to, that has taken our people, then let us go for confederation. If that confederation is not possible, we can still unite under a federal system that gives states their power so that the people of South Sudan are not bullied and not humiliated and not held back by a few people who are using some people to advance their agenda. And it is possible through the resolutions of the national dialogue. And only if President Kiir is not part of the new arrangement. Because we have tried to say it's Dinka. And the Dinka are saying, no, it's not us. It's the government. Then we say maybe it is the region where it comes from. It's Barkazal. And Barkazal is saying, no, it's not us. It's the cartels. And then who is it? Okay, so if it's President Kiir and the cartels, then we are left to say that anyone who still thinks that Salva Kiir is necessary in our lives to lead us at this particular time after all this is a cartel. And we'll deal with you as a cartel, not as a region and not as a tribe. But if you come as a number, if you are many, if you become 80%, like the army that President Kiir has now, that is almost 80% Dinka, and perhaps maybe about 70-something% from Barghazal, then it will be difficult to explain how that is not a region or a tribe that has probably turned into a cartel and leading the people of South Sudan astray and protecting somebody that is destroying us. You, the people of South Sudan, have a choice to make. The time has come for us to part ways or define our unity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deng Aruai, for explaining the reasons to why you and some of the separatists tend to believe that the South Sudan divided into 3 countries is the best solution for our peace to reign or for our economy to recover. Kindly, can you give, I still have 2 more questions to you before I yield it back to other panelists. Maybe they will have some few questions to throw onto you. You lay down some reasons, Dr. Deng Aruai, for the country to divide it into several regions or several countries rather. Can you lay out at least 3 reasons, legitimate reasons, that could make you think South Sudan can be divided into 3 regions or 3 countries for us to be in peace? At least 3. If not, you can provide 5. You said earlier that is the same reasons that led South Sudanese took arms in several wars against Arabs are the same reasons that compel you to come up with such ideas and some Equatorians and those who backed up your idea. Kindly, can you relate those reasons with the current status of our country?
Thank you very much. Number 1 would be, of course, security. Our country is insecure because the so-called government itself has become the number 1 enemy that our people need to protect themselves from. Even doing a business has become a problem. And when you talk about security, we're talking about setting up tribes against tribes, communities against communities, and allowing impunity to reign, where anyone, anywhere can loot you, kill you, rape you, or take away your cattle or abduct your child in the case of places like Jonglei State at this particular time. And these are issues that can be read anywhere that we all share. Maybe you just want to hear it from my mouth. It's not because you don't know. Then the second one is economy. Okay, the economy is bad. And we all know it. And we know why it is bad. It is because of the leadership, and it is because it has been taken, the economy has been personalized by certain people, and they're using it for their own good. If anything, only to destroy, by using the wealth of the nation to divide us, turn us against each other, so that they can continue to stay in power. The third one is, of course, freedom. No one is free, because if we were free, all this wouldn't be happening. Freedom of almost everything is not there. So we have issues of security, we have issues of economy, we have issues of freedom. Because if we had freedom, we would have had elections. If we had freedom, we would have better choices of leaders. If we had freedom, we had better choices of telling even our government how we want to look in the world. That does not exist. My problem here, and the reason why I have been avoiding the media, is that people tend to deflect, because some people want to protect their sections, their tribes, their regions by deflecting, making you who is actually beginning to express yourself as if you are lying, or if what you are saying has no evidence. But then, if I can give you guys a little bit of background. A few weeks ago, I got a lot of calls from my community members and from my friends, people I respect a lot from Bargazal. And they say, Deng, go slow or not do sulfur. Because I was writing about some articles. I was writing about some activities she was doing, and the articles were directed towards telling her that the problem of South Sudan is not financial at this time, it is political. So since you've come to the spotlight, I don't know how she came, maybe because she's the daughter of the president, but she appeared there. And now she's getting some support. I thought what she would do first is to influence her father, who has ran the country to the ground, by telling that you have to...
Dictor, if I may interrupt you, sorry for that. We need to stick to the questions in order to give chance to others. The issue of Adut and those who threatened you on your platform will come as the last question later on. And the panelists here on the podium will have something to say in regard to that. Kindly, if you don't mind, permit me to move to the third questions within 2 minutes, and then we move to the next speaker.
Thank you. I am glad you, the people of South Sudan, have heard what the moderator has just told me. You cannot solve the problems of South Sudan without mentioning names, without mentioning the names of people who have destroyed the country. And this is where I was going. I was told not to mention Salva Kiir, not to mention Adut, and not to mention Bolmel. And I said, what should I say? They say, you continue with the criticism of the government. Who is the government? It is these three people. They're the ones who own the military. They are the army. They are the political party. They are the judiciary. They are the parliament. They are the presidency. They are the executive. And at this time, they are actually the jury, the prosecutors, the judges, and they will be the executioners of anybody who stands in their way. Everything in the country, finances, they own. If I can't mention their names, I want the hell out of that country. And luckily, none of them is from where I come from. I come from Jonglei. The only way I can free myself from Burman, from Kirmayadi and Adut Safa is to go back to Upper Nile, where I come from. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deng Aruai. Your main reasons which you laid out are three things, and citizens are very keenly listening to you. Number one is insecurity. Number two, the economy. Number three is the freedom. And when you look at the stories of those countries that break away or split into two, stage trees, only one falls under them. And you can do research later on that, or maybe one of the speakers will highlight those ones. The last question to you, Deng Bols, and I need only 1 minute. Whom do you think owns South Sudan? In other words, who owns South Sudan, according to you?
Thank you very much. South Sudan supposedly was supposed to be owned by all of us as individuals. I am a sovereign person. I'm an independent being. That's why I have my own identification. I'm an entity. I relinquished my sovereignty to my community. I gave it to my clan. I gave it to my Buma. I gave it to my Payam and to county and to state. And finally, to the Republic of South Sudan. I thought I was going to be treated fairly, that I will have opportunities that is equal to the sovereignty that I had given, so that the nation can be seen among the nations as a sovereign state. That has not worked for me. But in the case of this discussion, South Sudan does not belong to all. Because if it belongs to all, no one will be living underwater right now. As we speak right now in Twitch East, there are probably 2% of the total population living in Twitch East County, taken over by water, when in 2020, all that was needed to prevent this water from taking the villages was only $2 million. The state could not even provide that. For the people that are now living in Bor, in Mangala, in Sirkat in Juba, in Nimili, and in Nairus, Kapoita, refugee camps all over the place. I am only speaking about my people and my village, not to mention the whole of Unity State, underwater, and the rest of Jonglei. Such people can never say they have a country. In the manner that this is the way many of us feel now, is the way we used to feel when we were living in refugee camps in Kenya during the war. We never identified with the Khartoum government and Sudan, because it is that government that made us leave Sudan, and we live in refugee camps. How we don't connect what had happened to us before and what is happening now is what I don't understand with our people. So that is the answer right there.
Thank you.
South Sudan does not belong to us anymore, who are in POCs, who are in IDP camps, who are in refugee camps, who are in exile, people like me, and Comrade Awolich, Sunday, who is here also, and many other people. If you don't feel that you fit in South Sudan at this time, if you are running away from South Sudan, going to cross the Mediterranean to Europe, if you are in Sudan carrying arms, fighting alongside RSF or stuff, you die there. It is simply because South Sudan is not owned by us. Perhaps by President Kiir, Adut, and Bolman. If
Thank you.
any of you is not associated with that, then give it to these people.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Deng Bol. To the viewers, kindly continue sharing this live show and throw in your questions under the comment sections. Isaac Deng Paul will pull them up later on. Let me come back to the studio here. We have Abraham Awolich. Abraham Awolich, you have heard what Dr. Deng stated, and Dr. Sunday John, you have heard him too. The same thing to Engineer Michael Ngorkuchak. Deng Bolarwe stated the reason what prompted him to create such idea or support it, the separatists from equatorial regions. And the three reasons which I add the second question, I stated one of them is insecurity. So it will be upon your analysis whether insecurity can make you break away from your own motherland in order to be secure. The economy, you will also put in your analysis or in your response, the freedom too. I think your discussion will base on those three. And if there is another things that you want to add onto, then you'll be free to do so. Let me start with Abraham Awolich. Abraham Awolich, I will not have questions. You have heard him, and I'm glad that you find your time, despite the busy schedules, to come and share your thoughts with South Sudanese in regard to this idea. This idea has been in public domain for some time now, and I think it's the right time to discuss it, whether to trash it totally or to leave it with some life in it. Thank you, Abraham Awolich. The chance is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Majuk, and the leadership of Lake State Media for the opportunity to chat. And Dr. Deng, thank you for articulating your vision and also your grievances that led you to make this, to undertake this position. My reaction is this. First, it is a common policy among the people of South Sudan. When somebody comes up with an idea, the idea is usually dismissed outright, and it's usually portrayed as something that is not important. But my own sense is that when such ideas come up, they are indicative of a serious situation, and such ideas cannot be dismissed, but rather investigated, so that we dig out what is the driving force behind such ideas. And so the issue of secession and separation has been around. It has been in the domain of South Sudanese discourse for the last few years, more prominent among the Equatorians. And also there have been people that have been advocating for Roll North, which is the nation for the North people. And usually these ideas are dismissed based on the feeling that it is not the right thing for the country to separate. But usually separation is caused by the feeling that the current configuration is dominating a section of society. So maybe people of Upper Nile and people of Equatoria feel that they are dominated by people from Baragazal. That is usually the legitimate reason that would trigger the call for separation. But in the case of South Sudan, I don't know if you can explain the current crisis in the country in terms of domination, especially if you can express it in terms of regional domination. Technically, you could argue that in terms of political discourse in South Sudan, and political representation in South Sudan, you could argue that other than the fact that Salva Kiir is actually the president, the people of Upper Nile are the one dominating politics in South Sudan. And if you can look at the current revitalized agreement, you could say that you have Taban Denga is a vice president, you have Rebecca Nyandeng is a vice president, and Riek Machar is vice president, and they come from Upper Nile. And you have other prominent people like Kwalma Nyangjuk and Michael Makwe, and previously Tudkeo and others coming from Upper Nile, and they are dominating the political space in South Sudan. So the question of domination does not arise in this situation, and therefore it would be unreasonable for people from Upper Nile to claim that there is some sort of a political domination by the people of Barghazal, if we put it in those terms. Maybe where you could argue is the use of resources. Most of the resources actually come from Upper Nile region, especially the oil resources. But the people that seem to take advantage of those resources are mostly from Barghazal. Maybe you could argue that way. And so usually separation is driven by political domination. And political domination is when you don't meaningfully participate in the governance of the country. So I think the call for separation is that warranted in the current situation in South Sudan. What is clear in South Sudan is that there has been a failure of leadership, and that the people of South Sudan are suffering equally from this failure of leadership and failure of political system to deliver both the vision to guide the country and both the services that are needed to keep the country together. There has been failure everywhere. So insecurity is right. The government has been unable to protect the people of South Sudan, whether they are from Barghazal, whether they are from Equatoria, and whether they are from Upper Nile. There is nothing to be disputed about it. People of South Sudan have suffered. I come from Lake State, and people of Lake State have suffered tremendously under the current leadership in terms of insecurity and in terms of economic neglect. The same thing is true for the people of Upper Nile, of Warab. They have also suffered a lot of fighting, a lot of insecurity, and the same applies to the people of Jonglei. And people of Jonglei have suffered quite a lot of insecurity, underdevelopment. The same thing is also true for the people of Unity State, and to a larger extent, even in Central Equatoria and Western Equatoria and Eastern Equatoria, there have been insecurity. People have suffered quite a lot. And of recent, of course, Upper Nile State itself saw terrible ethnic-based conflict. And the entire Cholo kingdom was displaced at one point. So insecurity, the government has failed to provide security for the people of South Sudan, and the region is irrelevant. It is widespread. So the government is not protecting one region while allowing insecurity to multiply in another region. The issue of insecurity is widespread. Western Barghazal has also suffered a number of insecurity situations. The place that has been relatively stable in Barghazal is northern Barghazal. But the rest of the 3 states of Barghazal have suffered a lot of insecurity. In Upper Nile, there is no state that is stable. All the 3 states of Upper Nile have suffered insecurity. In Equatoria, all the 3 Equatorial states have suffered insecurity. Maybe even Eastern Equatoria is a little bit okay, but they also have suffered insecurity. Yeah, so in the nutshell, when it comes to security, you could argue that yes, the government has failed. And so how does separating and splitting the country into small regional governments help resolve the insecurity situation? It doesn't. It doesn't resolve that. On the political, on the economic side, there has not been any economic development anywhere in the country. You look at Baragazal, the roads are a problem. People are not able to move anywhere. The road that was said to be a road going to Baragazal has stopped in Iktarkaka. It has not gone beyond that. The same thing in Equatoria. The only road that came was the Numili Road, and it came up to Juba. Then it stopped there. There's no road going to Torit, and the rest of central Equatoria or western Equatoria, there is no permanent road there. This is also true for Upper Nile. The only road that has gone all as far as Bor, and then it stopped there. So Upper Nile, Malakal actually has a very nice airport, and as well as Paloch, and they are related to oil. In Barghazal, there is not a very good airport. Even Wow, there is no airport there. So let us look at it that way. Developmentally, there has not been a region that has been favored. All regions are backward. Perhaps you could even say that maybe Equatoria, a little bit, there has been some development, but otherwise the rest of the country is just backward. Even the oil producing states. I have been to Paloj and I have been to Malut. These people are, you could even say that the oil thing is a curse for them. There is nothing. They are suffering. Yeah, so there has been, so these are the things that could warrant separation, is to say that, look, these people are benefiting more than us. These people have more political, are more politically dominant than us. And these people are secure better than us. None of that applies in this case in South Sudan. So I could argue that, Comrade Dengbol, that it depends on how you analyze the problem. If your analysis of the problem is regional, if you think that one region, especially the region of Barghazal, is politically dominating, you need to think again, because the people of Barghazal are complaining as well. Those of us in Lake State, even people of Warab to some extent, and people of Western Barghazal to a larger extent, are complaining that the political space is dominated by a small group of people who are actually not representing anybody. They are representing themselves. They are colluding with the leadership to steal the money, to control the security, and to dominate politics. And these elements are coming from all the places. They are coming from Upper Nile, they are coming from Barghazal, and they are coming from Equatoria. It is a group of people, and these people have been enabled by the president to dominate politics in the country. So in the nutshell, let me conclude by saying that I have not seen justification from Dr. Deng Aruai. I have not seen sufficient justification for the call of secession. What I can conclude is that probably it is a strategy to call attention to the grievances that are underlying. And the call and the strategy is to go to the extreme in order to achieve attention, in order to get people to pay attention to the grievances that are inherent, that are there. Because I know that the people of Upper Nile, people of Equatoria, and even people of Barghazal, they have been complaining. They have been raising grievances, but nobody is paying attention to their grievances. And so maybe going to the extreme as calling for suppression could draw attention to these grievances and to generate genuine dialogue and a genuine conversation about the foundation on which our country stands. And it is also a call to a vision. The country has no vision at the moment. People are lost. People are wondering where to go from here. Maybe going to the extreme will allow people to pay attention to the fact that the country is yearning for change. The country is looking for a way out of the crisis. And the current leadership does not appear to pay attention to these grievances. And by the way, if these grievances are allowed to fester for so long, the reality of separation may become inevitable. But if we embrace the conversation at the moment and dive into addressing the grievances that are outstanding, maybe the call for separation, the call for secession will become less and less important. So that is how I can respond. I think it is a position taken by Comrade Deng and others to try to call people of South Sudan to attention to the major grievances that are there. But I don't think it is a genuine desire to break away. That is what I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abraham Awolich, for your comprehensive response and analysis on our situations as South Sudanese. We really appreciate that. Now we move to Dr. Sandra John. If you are available, please unmute your mic and give us your response to this call. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before that, Dr. Sande, you also need to keep in mind the three reasons he laid down. At first, during his opening remark, he said the idea was born out of frustration, or is born out of frustration. You need to note that. And the three reasons: the insecurity, the economy, and the freedom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majuk Makur, and my fellow panelists, other South Sudanese listening. I appreciate the opportunity given to me. And thank you very much also, Dr. Deng, for your idea. However, I'll not talk a lot about it because the idea is very weak, is so feeble. It is a product of frustration. And what I can say, as a matter of honesty, the frustration does not belong to the people of Upper Nile. The frustration comes from Deng. And therefore, the separation idea does not hold any water. The first thing Deng could have done is to amass the citizens of Upper Nile. And I don't believe he has a conversation with them that has arrived to this stage of the nation. The conversation is completely a personal frustration, and that is why he's mentioning President Salva Adud Bol Mill. This is a disagreement at the level of J1. It is not at the level of the nation called South Sudan. The real separation comes from real ideas, like Dr. Abraham has mentioned. You have to have political domination that you cannot be able to undo in a manner that is democratic or any other alternative way. That way you can demand for your separate way. Brother Deng has mentioned that the same reasons that led to South Sudanese seeking separation are the same reasons that are informing the ones in Upper Nile. That is totally wrong. First of all, there is no any invention of a new law that acts or that suppress others. For example, there were laws in Sudan, like the Sharia law and other laws that were suppressing the South more than the North on religious terms and many other injustices that were done. Currently, we have failure of the governance, and the failure of the governance, many people blame Kir for it because Kir is the supervisor. But those that work with him comes from all parts of the Republic of South Sudan. That case can be addressed differently. And that has been the reason why we have been raising our voices, leading to our exit from the country. But that cannot make us think that we will separate from our own nation. The separation is a big matter. It is not an issue that you create and talk about it. What Deng Bol is trying to bring forward is a personal argument made bigger for RIPs. For example, in our languages, locally, whether you are Nuer or Dinka or Chiluk or any other community, they say that if you want to get 2 or 3 ribs, you ask for the entire thigh if they have killed a cow. This is what he is trying to do. This is self-seeking. It is not the case of Upper Nile. Deng has no ability even to bring people of Upper Nile behind him at that political level. So we are not supposed to entertain issues that are not of great value. The argument as raised by Equatorian has completely been mentioned in a different way. The reasons they gave are so strong that you can be able to put into consideration their case for discussion. But this case here is based on personal emotions directed at specific individuals and now trying to magnify it at the level of the nation. If people are suffering in South Sudan, it is not people of Upper Nile alone. They are suffering up to Abyei. They are suffering up to Numili and other parts of Eastern Equatoria, like Poita. They are suffering everywhere. There is no way you can come and own it. If there is something that Bol is not saying, Deng Bol is not saying, he has to come out with it. This is not Bahr el Ghazal versus Upper Nile. Abraham has rightly enumerated issues. Name issues are, one, if it is development, the only road constructed by the government of South Sudan goes to Upper Nile through Bor. Okay? If it is leadership, they have more leaders in the government than the very people of Bahr el Ghazal. There are even people from Bahr el Ghazal who have never been elevated to the position of minister since the creation of the Republic of South Sudan today. Okay? And those people are not, you don't destroy a house if you have not been given a plate full of food. This is what Deng Bol is fighting for. And he has to do it in another way, not the separation of Upper Nile. There are other people that have uttered derogatory statements to Deng Bol. But that is not what we will say. This thinking here is small for the country. He has to think bigger than this. Issues that could have led to the breakdown of the country are many. If it is insecurity, as he was saying, which place is more secure than the other? Abraham has already mentioned that, and I will not dwell on it. The insecurity is rampant all over the country. The question would have been, the government is not doing the right thing. That way his voice would be magnified by others. But if he is calling for separation, it's a weak conversation. It does not step up as a conversation for the nation called the Republic of South Sudan. If you were also to separate, you are not going to separate from Salpa. You are going to separate from South Sudan. And this is an issue of people, land, and resources. How can Deng Bol get his argument on that? South Sudan managed it because there was political will from the international community that led to our support. Deng Bol should ask himself, is South Sudan ready to lose a territory? This is the question he needs to ask. Is South Sudan ready to lose a territory? Territorial integrity is a big question. It has denied Catalonians the opportunity to separate today. It has done the same for Cadiz in Iraq. It has done the same in places like East Timor. It is happening elsewhere, here in the region. The only countries that were given this right are not very many. For our case in 2011, going back to the case of Eritrea from Ethiopia in 1993, the other countries, there was one also that separated in 2022. Today, nations like Serbia and Kosovo are still in conflict because Serbia is not ready to cede its territory to anybody. If Deng Bol is looking for more problems, than solutions, then he will continue with his campaign until elections come and he fail not to win. Because South Sudanese will not vote for a president that wants to separate the country into regions. There is no argument about development that Deng has brought up that favor other areas that he can pinpoint that so and so were done this and that and we were left out, so we must go. These are arguments of people who want something from the government. We don't have problem with Deng Bol. He can directly tell President Salpa that give me this or this. Their inconvenience came. Deng Bol was part of the government. Even the insecurity is not like the one in 2013 today. Why is he citing it? In 2013, the death was everywhere. And Deng was comfortably leading Red Army, dining with Salpa, and he was not talking about separation. He was saying that we should mention the names. These are the people that dine with Salpa, and once deny the opportunity to be eating with him, they go and call things that are not important to the nation. People of Upper Nile, I don't come from Upper Nile, but they are my countrymen and women. They have never talked about separation up to now. Okay? The very few people that talk about that are those that are, I can call them, they have exiled themselves intentionally long time ago when they want to disturb their country from progress by mentioning things that are not of importance. Deng Bol should be told outright his idea is stillbirth. It will not kick up, and South Sudanese do not want even to debate on it because it carries no weight for the country. It is self-seeking. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunday De John, for your response to the topic at hand. I hope Dr. Dengbol is taking notes of your response, and maybe later on you will be given a chance to clarify it further. Before I move to Engineer Michael Ngorkuchak, Dr. Sunday, do you believe Dengbol came up with this idea to seek political discussion or public attention? Kindly, can you put more or shed more light on that?
Exactly as I put it, Deng Bol is attention seeking using this point. It is not even national in nature. He is seeking the attention of J1, not anywhere else. Because people of Upper Nile are not represented by Deng Bol and they do not have that call. As we are speaking today, the influential decision makers, including around Bol Mill, comes from Upper Nile. Okay? They come from Upper Nile. Bol Mill himself has not left people of Upper Nile out of his small office. And as he will power, people from Upper Nile are in charge. And they are even in charge of the revenues of the country. If it is eating of the resources, they are eating there. What has happened is there is an issue at the level of governance. This issue at the level of governance has to be addressed by all South Sudanese as a national matter. Whether we are seeking democratic ways or any other alternative, we are not supposed to mention things that are of no value at all. This idea of separation does not help South Sudan in any way, and it is not coming from people. It comes from individuals to magnify themselves so that they are seen to be people advancing a bigger cause. So that is how I view it. It has no national roots. Even in the national dialogue, the idea of separation was not a topic of discussion. If I am wrong, Abraham can actually say here and there, you are wrong. But what I know is separation was not discussed. It is a question of governance. And the question South Sudanese should be asking themselves is, how do we think again to manage the country in a proper way? This is the question we can ask. If it is the removal of President Salpa, we cannot be able to do it through separation. Let Deng Bol think differently about that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday De John. To the audience and the viewers on both sides, Clubhouse and here on Facebook, and those who might be watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for staying with us up to this time. Kindly bear with us. We will end shortly. Let me go to one of the panelists and the speaker on the podium, that is Engineer Michael Ngorkuchak. The chance is yours. You can unmute yourself, react to the idea. Thank you. Unmute yourself.
Network, eh? network. Just wait for
Yes.
a while, yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I still have issue. Yeah, I still have issue with the network. Thank you for my joke. I really appreciate the input being made by Dr. Sunday, Dr. Awolich, regardless of this and a realistic call for a separation by Dr. Deng. I hope this is what we need as South Sudanese. We need to have this kind of conversation to chart a way forward. At my personal level, let me just say the idea for Dr. Deng will never and never benefit in South Sudan. It is an unpopular idea. I, as South Sudanese, and a member of a ruling party at the same time, I humbly condemned Brother Deng. That's not an idea. It is the highest level of betrayal of our values and integrity of South Sudan. And we are supposed to protect our own self in one way or another, whether we are part of the government or not part of the government. And when we have this kind of conversation, you see the generation that is now ruling, the generation, the veteran, so who are now founders, they did their part. So their life purpose was that they either died in freedom or winning the freedom, and they have achieved what they would. So our turn as a generation is that to define our life purpose. What shall we do to the next generation? That means we shall lay a solid foundation to the nation building. But currently, the people destroying South Sudan are young people, not the old people. Because we are taking four things, we have four things on table: pride,
Yeah, to our viewers, we apologize. Engineer Michael Ngor network is not stable since the beginning of this conversation. And I believe he has frozen. And Isaac Tieng, you can drop him to join us once again. Yeah, thank you. We will move on if there is anything Abraham Awolich want to add on the conversation. And if not, then we can yield it back to Dr. Deng Aruai to respond to the statement made by Abraham Awolich and also Dr. Sunday De John.
Well, the only thing that I could add is that it is important when we are having a conversation to respect the person and to challenge his idea. There have been a lot of people that have challenged Deng Bol's idea, but there are also been many people who have assaulted him as an individual. Pointing out his the fact that he's a disabled person. I think that those type of responses do not help advance the cause of peace in the country. And I also want to push back on Engineer Ngor, who said that by calling for suppression, somebody is betraying the country. I don't think so. I don't think somebody who is calling for separation is a betrayer of a country. It's simply somebody who is frustrated. And when you begin to frame people in that way, you kill the conversation. We can challenge Deng Bol's idea on its merits. Is there legitimacy in what he is saying? And we have done that. We have said no, there is no legitimacy because you could only call for separation when you feel like you are dominated politically and your culture is dominated and development is you are denied development, and you are denied the privileges of being an equal citizen with the others. And in the case of South Sudan, we have not seen that. What we have seen is actually a complete neglect of all the citizens, regardless of their ethnicity, their race, their religion, and the region in which they come from. It's a complete failure of government. And complete failure of government is a separate issue altogether from domination, political domination. And that is the basis upon which we can challenge Deng Bol's idea. But Deng has also given us a way out in his proposal. And we need to acknowledge that. He said he has three positions. One is either a complete separation if we are not able to resolve all these complicated issues, or to go into sort of a confederacy of the three regions if separation is not a favorable thing, or if confederation doesn't work and we want to keep the country united this way, then we need to have a new basis of unity. I think that is a good start, because Deng is not saying separation is the only solution. He's giving other options to be considered. And I can say that during the South Sudan National Dialogue, the issue of confederation was considered, but it was rejected. It came actually from Equatoria. The idea of having three regional governments headed by governor generals who were going to be also vice presidents. So this idea came that Barghazal should have a governor general, so it will have its own states and governors, but there will be a governor general who will run the region and also become vice president in the national level. And that idea was proposed by the Equatorians, and the Equatorians themselves killed it in the conference, in the Equatoria conference. The idea was rejected that what we want are actually states. We don't want a middle level here at the regional level. We want states. So what the people of South Sudan actually wanted through the national dialogue is to have more states, and they want a very strong central government. So what the people of South Sudan want, and it cannot be confused with separation, they want self-government. They want to run their own affairs in their own states, and they don't want too much interference from the national government. But they also, at the same time, want a strong national government that is able to provide security and provide development and unite the country. So these ideas were tested, and the validity of these proposals were rejected by the people of South Sudan during the national dialogue. But their demand for self-rule and for democratic governance and for development and for security cannot be mistaken, which is why in the end they concluded that what they are experiencing in the country is a leadership failure. And that is why they actually called for President Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar to step aside, to give country a new blood. Yeah, so these ideas have been explored. And the reason these ideas get explored is because there is lack. People are yearning for something better. People are looking for a better country, a better government, a government that works. And we don't have that government right now. And so perhaps what Dr. Deng Bol should be doing is to work together with us to figure out how best can we restore a government that will give the people of South Sudan what they want. Maybe that is where an exploration is needed. But dividing up the country into small units, I could actually declare, Aruai as an independent republic, and I have a legitimate case. I can say that my people are marginalized. They have not featured in the government and all of that. But to what use? What are we going to get out of that? Not much. So we should invest our time and resources on trying to challenge the current government to open up the political space and to give the people of South Sudan a genuine space to dialogue about the way they want to govern themselves and about the way in which they can get back to peace and security and stability. No question about that. But the question of splitting ourselves into smaller units, the rest of the world is working to get bigger. People are putting themselves like the European Unions, the African Union. People want to be bigger, not smaller, because smaller, you die. Bigger, you'll survive. And so we cannot afford to break into smaller groups anymore, but we have an opportunity to bring down a government that has failed us so that we can bring a government that will work for our people. No one will challenge that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abraham Awolich. Dr. Deng, if you are available, please, can you unmute yourself and respond to or convince them further if you think you have not convinced the audience and the panelists?
Thank you so much, Comrade Majuk. And thank you very much, Comrade Abraham, Comrade Sunday, and everybody that is listening to this conversation here on Clubhouse and watching on Facebook. Discussing the issues of South Sudan is very difficult because it is full of deflections, and things are sensitive because people are very sensitive to these issues that are happening. And majority of the people are in denial. So it's become very, very difficult. So as much as Comrade Abraham is also getting his PhD, so I don't think I misspoke. Comrade Abraham Awolich has actually explained a lot that could, in a way, justify what we are trying to say or do. As much as he's saying that there's no legitimate case, that is also agreeable. There's no problem with that. But he has basically shown the way for many people who do not want to look at it that way. So let me go back to the issue of political dominance as a reason, as a legitimate case. Let us be very honest. The kind of political system that we have in South Sudan is probably new to us, and that's why it confuses us. In 2018, before when the peace agreement was being signed, a move happened within the system, within the government. When the power sharing metrics came out, and the government of South Sudan knew exactly what kind of positions were going to be given to the government, which one were going to go to SPLM-IO, which ones were going to go to SAWA and to FDs and OPP. And all the resources of the country were moved from where they were supposed to be and put at areas where the SPLM was going to govern, or at least institutions that are going to be headed by people that are known to be part of the ruling party. That is what happened. So if you are from SPLMIO and you go to petroleum, you are just leading an institution whose money or revenues are only available on paper. But you have no power to use this money. The issue of vice presidents, which is something that I hate very much, and this is something that is thrown in the faces of Upper Nile people every day, is that this is your government. You have Mama Rebecca Nyandeng Temabur, you have Dr. Yak Machar, then you have Tamba Dengai. They are all vice president. Therefore, the government belongs to you. No, that's not how it works. These people literally beg for money to put into the generator. And if I'm wrong, confirm it from them. They don't have money. Money is a ninepence. Money is in oil for roads. Some of this money comes through the central bank and it goes straight to J1. Whatever little that goes to finance only is authorized and it goes to people that it's supposed to go to. Simon Okui Deng, who is now thrown into the faces of the people, is a money collector and a cashier. The money goes to Adut, the rest goes to finance. And at finance, it's only given to people that are supposed to be given. That is why salaries are not being paid. Why are we deflecting? Why are we not having honest conversation? Why are we painting people in government as the people that are money of the country? And we know that the people taking all this money and they use of this from the same time and from the same region. How did that happen? We had a DIE. We had we need the CPF, the GDP of everything.
We have a poor network
Who
connection.
is them and their them? Who is the president? And who is the vice president? This answers everything. I am running away from this issue. And then people see the same pain and the people is happening and put on support and continue to deflect. It's a problem. It's mine. Of that, of Sunday, deplorable. And I'm sorry. I'm never tried with him much. I've never tried with him that much, but today it never worked for the government of South Sudan. I challenge you to go through all the files in the Republic of South Sudan, and if you find a payroll that has my name on it, calculate that money and tell me, and if you don't want me to give it to you, I'll donate it to your charity of choice. That is one. Two, the Red Army Foundation is an NGO, a National Patriotic Veterans Organization. We were playing a supportive role to the SPLM, to the government, and to the SPLA, now SSPDF. I tried influencing everyone I could find, including the president. Nothing worked. I had access to all these people, including people in parliament, in the party, and all this. When I saw that things were very difficult, I tried changing things through the SPLM by influencing them. And in 2018, I and some few Red Army members confronted the SPLM that the country is falling. We need an honest dialogue between the Red Army and SPLM so that these three questions can be answered. Number one, why did we go to war first? Why did we go to the bush? Why did we fight for 21 years? We wanted the SPLM to answer that, because if that was answered, then we would have found the problem. Number two, we asked, who fought the war? It's the veterans. Because the first question was about to define the vision. Why did we go to war? Second, who fought the war? This was going to address the issue of our veterans, our orphans, our widows, and the wounded heroes. The third one was, whom did we fight the war for? This was going to answer the question of the suffering of everybody in the country today. That the push for the dialogue, the Red Army SPLM dialogue, put me in a very difficult situation. And that is when some people declared that Deng must go. That this insistency on the Red Army questioning people and all this and that must end. That is when people, that's when elements of the SPLM, within the SPLM, began sponsoring people against me. I fought very hard those people for 4 years, till I decided that I couldn't hold anymore. That is when I was getting, people began accusing me, even connecting me to PCCA. And Abraham Awolich is here, he can confirm. I did not talk to him prior to the announcement. But I was called by the security to the SPLM, and I was told I must organize the Red Army and go to the street and condemn PCCA and all the other people, so that we, the Red Army, can be used against other Red Army. People like Abraham Awolich and Akol Maker. I said no. And that was my conversation with Comrade Stephen, Comrade Stephen,
Stephen
Abud Tiankol. So I left, and at that day I was supposed to travel to Khartoum. I went to Khartoum. That is when I was declared a rebel. So I had to come back. The president said, I understand that Deng has rebelled and he's a member of PCCA. Find him and bring him to Juba and put him in jail. I got a call from Real Benjamin, who was minister in office at that time, and I got a call from Akol saying, Deng, you have to come to Juba. We know you are not part of PCCA 100%. But some people in the SPLM have implicated you, and if you don't come back until the 30th of August, then even the people of South Sudan will believe that you are part of it. I came back, and instead of taking me to Blue House, he said you can stay anywhere you want. So I rented an apartment, we stayed for 2 months until the whole thing was over, and then I asked if I could leave, and he said you are free to go. So, Comrade Sunday, you telling me that, oh, I was part of the government and I was doing this and that, I have told President Kiir everything that I need to tell anybody. And I've talked to almost everybody, and I have declared it on Clubhouse here on Facebook everywhere, and I say, these leaders, I have met all of them from Salva Kiir, perhaps many other people, and I declare that there's nothing good that is going to come out of these people. And I said it publicly, and I counted all their names. They are there. But the problem here is, to whom more is given, more is expected. The biggest problem of this country is President Kiir. Number one, whoever dies in this country should blame President Kiir. Whoever is sick or hungry should blame President Kiir. Because he has divided the people and no one has a power. I don't want to tell you who I was meeting, but those people.
Dr. Deng
and the advisors.
Dr. Deng sorry for interruption. I think we should be brief on our response, and we should be on the topic. The topic is simple. As you propose your idea and people rejected it, said it has no weight, we should not discuss it. So a response to which viewers expect from you.
We are going to talk about this country, because these people are the ones destroying the country. These people,
it's okay, we will talk about them, but not now.
The country, and that President Kiir has destroyed the country. Okay? They will tell you that. So don't say, because there are people in Upper Nile, that Upper Nile has no issues. We don't sleep at Mama Rebecca's house. We don't sleep in Kwalmanyang's house. We don't sleep in Makwelwe's house. And ask any one of them, if any one of them has ever given me £1, ever in their lives, ask them. Let no one tell us anything about anyone in government. You can keep them in government and keep them in Juba. But don't bring them into the issues of Upper Nile, because they are not hungry with us, they are not sick with us, they are not dying with us, they are not sitting in water with us, and they are not being shot on the road with us. Keep them in Juba, but don't bring them into our conversation. That is all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deng. Now the conversation is almost coming to an end. But before I move to Dr. Sunday De John, I need you, Dr. Deng, to give us 2 examples of the countries that is split on the basis of insecurity, on the basis of economy, on the basis of freedom. If you give us those 2 countries, and then before that, we can yield it back to Dr. Sunday De John. But before I give you that chance,
remember, we have 3 people as well in the clubhouse here who might be getting
good. Before you give us those examples, Deng Aruai, when you do your own research, you realize that there are 5 main things that split the countries into 2 or into more. The number 1 of those is ethnicity or different cultures or cultural differences. But you will relate with your idea, and those Equatorians, especially the separatists, I know they're listening now in the clubhouse. Number 2 is political, ideological conflict. Do we have that? And if we have that, you can bring it on. An example is Korea, which is North and South Korea. And when you look at the economic imbalance in the regions or between the regions, then that is what was under your reason, fall under your 3 regions. And number 4, you look at the colonial legacy and the boundaries. A good example is South Sudan and Sudan. You will also give us something that I relate to your idea. And the 5th one is lack of political representative or representation, of which it has already been tried and cleared out of the equations by Abraham Awolich and also by Dr. Sunday De John. And you agree with them that is indeed is not about the political representation. Kindly, can you give us 2 examples of those countries that fall under your 3 reasons before I move to Dr. Sunday De John? Thank you.
Countries, you want me to give you an example? I think what you will know now, I'll give you just one example of where you are, the United States of America. Comrade Majuk, times have changed. Some people say that, oh, so you people of Upper Nile want to go. It will take you 48 years. It will take you 21 years. No, it can even take someone a week to separate from a country. The example of the United States is very clear. The people of the people of the United States for 249 years, now 250 years, have tried perfecting their union until now. It's not perfect, but at least they can participate. Right now, it is the Republicans and the Democrats. President Kiir is not alone, just like Donald Trump is not alone. And good enough, to be honest with you, majority of the people that are protecting President Kiir now from his presidential guards to maybe individuals that are civilian, you could say they all come from Barghazal, including the army. That is one. California has now floated the idea of secession. Why? Because of the way the country is being governed by Donald Trump and how the country has now almost split into red and blue states. And the president, who is supported by some red states, targeting blue states. It's there in the open. What is happening in Bor right now as we speak is really bad. The president, through national security, is now targeting the people of Bor. The Nuer, if we were to talk like casually as Monjang, as Dinka, many people are saying we will never see a Nuer president in this country. We will not allow it. Everything about the Nuer and Dinka, it's about 91. It's about 2013. It's about 2016. It's about 2005. Until now, Riek Machar is put in a cage like a bird or like an animal in what is supposed to be freedom hall. Some kind of freedom, that is. And it's because he is tribally and politically and regionally being prosecuted. This is well known. So I'm not going to give you countries. I don't live in those countries. I am using lived experience of our people in Upper Nile. And Comrade Dr. Sunday Dijon had the audacity to say a lot of things. I am attention seeking. I want a job from J1. I mean, all kinds of nonsense. This week, into the next few weeks, and into some months to come, I promise you, Comrade Sunday Dijon, that I am not alone, and that this is not rubbish, as you call it. I advise that you go join Salva Kiir and come together to Upper Nile and stop this from happening. If that's how you're going to talk. You made it worse for President Kiir, because this has a potential of ending President Kiir's presidency. And we are not going to stop like that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, Awolich has explained it. Perhaps you were not listening. That we have these three options. If we are sincere people, we will begin from one. by convincing President Kiir to go back to the resolutions of the national dialogue. If there are people that are actually interested in saving this union, they should stop with threats. We are ready, and you will see it very, very, very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deng Bolaroy. Before I go to Dr. Sandra Jones and the three members in the clubhouse, permit me to acknowledge our viewers for staying with us up to this time. Thank you very much. And if you have a question, please put it under the comment section, and the team in the studio will pull it up later on. Comrade Dembol, we need to take it slow. Ideas always are subject for discussion, and if any of opponents bring his idea or objections to the idea, and then it means there are some areas of weakness in regard to the idea. Kindly bear with us. And you said you gave example of USA, and precisely you mentioned California. California has never or officially stated that they need to break away from the US, or you can revisit your research in regard to California. Nothing of that kind has ever happened, although there are individuals who claim or have such ideas, but the ideas has never been considered by the governor of California or California law. Thank you for that. Sunday De John, you have 3 minutes to respond, and then I move to the clubhouse. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To that extreme, but they could. That's what I'm saying. Texas also has considered that several times, but it is up to the state also. And by the way, I'm very sorry to say this. Maybe give me half a minute. You said the people of Upper Nile. I like to talk to somebody like Comrade Abraham Awolich because he's moderate and he's making sense of as to why some people may be feeling that way. But when it comes to actual grievances of a region, what we are asking for is self-determination. And the first word is self, meaning it is the person that has grievances, that has the right to decide whether this is good or not. Even the legitimacy of whether Upper Nile can succeed or not comes from the people of Upper Nile. This is the thing. We all share the country, and somebody could say that this idea is not popular. I can agree. If it is not popular in Upper Nile, then yes, it's not popular. But it's not someone from Equatoria or Barkazal that can come and say it's not popular. Who are you in this equation? It's a self-determination issue. It should be among the people of Upper Nile. If they feel that they are disadvantaged in any way, whether something they want to say or they don't want to say, then it should be them debating it. And using democracy, they decide. If it wins that they should separate, then it is their choice. So in the next few weeks and months, we will know if this is something that the people of Upper Nile can back or not back. But it will not be determined by Equatoria or Barghazal. If you fight along President Kiir, then you will also be an oppressor.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dengbol.
Not part of the problem.
Thank you. Let me give a chance to Dr. Sande De John, because you already made your point and your points are clear. Kindly you mute yourself and wait for other speakers to put in their input. Dr. Sande De John, go ahead and give us your opinions.
Thank you very much, moderators, for the time. And also to the viewers, I can say that you are listening and you can be able to deduct from our conversation the realities and things that are not realities. Me, I have not attacked anyone. I've not attacked Brother Dr. Deng. I have only attacked his idea. His idea is born out of frustration, so it has not been well refined, and it does not reflect the national outlook. He cannot even speak for people that are from Upper Nile region, because matters of South Sudan are not ethnicities versus the other. It is a political issue, and we were supposed to talk at the outset about parties, the political organizations that we subscribe to. However, I understand his level of frustration. When we broke out from the country and formed movements, we were very bitter, and we were thinking that we will overcome all the issues in one day. But today, we reason like human, because we have known that certain things don't just happen for the sake of happening. They have to be worked for, and they have to be thought for thoroughly. So what I want to say is the separation of Upper Nile is organically not from people of Upper Nile, but from Deng. And he wants to use the fact that he comes from Upper Nile as a way of perpetuating this idea to be heard by many, when his objective is just in J1. I cannot shy away from that. While he denies having not worked for the government, he was a pro-government through a support system that he created, and that was funded and supported by the government itself. We have details, including his own accommodation for 13 years in a hotel. He could have not done it as a person, but I'm not going to attack him at the personal level. All of us here, indirectly or directly, we benefited from South Sudan. This one we cannot take away. Number one benefit is that we have an identity. We are called a country, and that alone is a power, and that is why you can be identified everywhere and respected. However, things are not right inside there, and if things are not right, we have to devise mechanisms that would right them. And this involves now the political working that we have been doing, Deng has been doing, and others are doing. That one is not a bad thing. We cannot condemn him, we cannot insult him, we cannot even stop him from initiating an idea. But we also have the right to respond to his idea if it is not creating cohesiveness in the country. This idea is not from people of Upper Nile, it is from Deng, and it has its own motives. The reason he laid down are not adequate to even call for confederation or any other form of governance that people are looking for. South Sudan has only one issue. The political system that is in place has decided to fight with itself. And this has degenerated to deprivation of all the citizens of the country. And this, we cannot be able to be bitter on individuals or on what we can be able to blame the big system. And we call President Salva Kiir's name because he's the supervisor. But those under him come from Equatoria, and those under him come from Upper Nile. They also come from Bahr el Ghazal. Him being protected by people closer to him is not a national nuisance. Even if Deng was to be given opportunity today to have bodyguards, he will not just select them for the sake of selection. He will be able to select those that subscribe to him regardless of whether they come from Upper Nile or not. There are others who have bodyguards that are from Upper Nile and other areas, and they are from Bahr el Ghazal. What I want to nip at the bud is this. Whenever we are talking, let us not talk about the names of the regions. If we begin to blame issue of South Sudan on Bahr el Ghazal, actually we would not be looking for solutions. We are supposed to blame the issue of South Sudan with the current system and blame it in a mechanism that reflects that this is truly a national matter, and it is not a targetation or whatever they call it. We are not targeting a society. Okay? We are not targeting a society. This is like people are targeting people from Bahr el Ghazal just because President Salva come from there. Don't people understand also people from Bahr el Ghazal feel the pain of the current government? Why are we? I have been here outside the country more than both Brother Abraham and Deng. I left the country before them, and I'm still here, and I am from Bahr el Ghazal. If there were papers for Bahr el Ghazal, why would I be here? Why would others be here? Even those that have contributed to the country so much more than me, the likes of Pagana Malongawan and other big leaders. it is simply because the system is the one they are fighting. It is not the regionalism. This idea of regionalism is a wrong solace. Okay, is a wrong solace. I have very good friends from Upper Nile, maybe from Uror and Nirol. Okay, but I cannot target the region simply because I want to advance a certain point. This was the point I was trying to make. If you have grievances against the government or frustrated so much, let them be national issues. Let them not be degenerating to individuals or to people that comes from a certain particular area. As we are here today, the case is not for Upper Nile. Upper Nile is part of South Sudan. And by the laws of South Sudan, and even the future laws, I have a right to talk about Upper Nile and live in Upper Nile and do anything I want as a citizen of South Sudan in Upper Nile. Nobody can stop me from joining that conversation. And this conversation here is a national matter. The territory belonging to South Sudan called Upper Nile is going nowhere. Anybody that is thinking of political solution should come up with better ideas than degeneration. This is self-defeating. Okay, this is the idea of a defeated person. It is like we have been defeated and now you want to run away. Run to where? Go and leave our territory. That is it. Thank you very much. I am also very unwell. Let me excuse myself as you continue with the conversation. Anytime later I can return. Thank you very much, Brother Abraham. Thank you very much, Brother Tieng, Madid, and all our audience, and my younger brother Majuma Kurmalak. I bid you farewell for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sande de John, for your input and for your time, despite your body system is not up to date due to the cold weather of where you are. I will yield it back to Isaac Young Pauls or Abraham Adit to give those who are in Clubhouse a chance before we wrap up our conversation. And we are left with the 15 minutes. Abraham Adit, you can utilize that 15 minutes accordingly, because we still have two on board that need to put the last parting shots. That is Abraham Awolich and Dr. Sande de John. Thank you. Yield it back to the Clubhouse.
We have Joseph Duke. Joseph Duke, do you have anything to add on or to ask?
Yes. Greeting to my Juk Leg State Media, and greeting to Badina Majak, South Sudan Eagle Media, and greeting to you, the Duke, and the audience of the Leg State Media and South Sudan Eagle Media. Dr. Deng Bol. My name is Joseph. I'm from Upper Nile, Jonglei State. I'm from Bor. Deng Bol, the reason that you mentioned, or the reason that you presented this talk, are not convincing to most of us in Great Upper Nile, and to me as Joseph, are not convincing at all. If you talk the president is from Baragazal, and if you're talking saying that most people in the government are from Baragazal, the people in Baragazal, they are not better than us. They are suffering, and we are suffering in Upper Nile. So they are not taking any advantage of the current system. Absolutely, that's not true. You said that some people are saying that Nuer cannot, it looked like I have an issue network, or my voice is clear.
Yeah, you are loud and clear.
Okay, the second thing you say, Deng Bol, you say that some people are saying that Nuer cannot be president. No, that is not true. People are saying, especially as Dinka, who are saying Riek Machar cannot be president of South Sudan. And it's true because of 1991, because of 2013, because of 2016. That's why we say that Riek Machar cannot be president of South Sudan. And because of the member of the SPLM-IO party, because the member of SPLM-IO that are saying, oh, we are coming for revenge, we will kill Dinka, we will kick you out. So our issue is Riek Machar, but not with Nuer. And then I have two questions for you, Deng and then I will end up with that two questions because of the time. You said the reason for you to call for Upper Nile, Republic of Upper Nile, is frustration. So the frustration is everywhere. It is in Equatoria, in Bahr el Ghazal, and in Upper Nile. Like at the same time, the cause of frustration in Sudan came from the Upper Nile, came from our region. The insecurity, the killing, the displacement, all these things are happening in Upper Nile. And they move from Upper Nile all the way to Equatoria and then to Western Bahr el Ghazal. Deng, I did not see people of Bahr el Ghazal move from Bahr el Ghazal and they went to Upper Nile to abuse us or to torture us or to kill us or to display us in Upper Nile. They never abused us in Upper Nile. Okay, that never happened. So the frustration came from Upper Nile and it spread. The rebellion came from Upper Nile, and insecurity came from Upper Nile. So we are the cause of the problem of South Sudan because of the power struggle between the two, between Riek Machar and King Mayadit. And the second thing, you calling for us to be a Republic of Upper Nile, and you know that very well. The tribe that called Nuer, they are very hostile tribe in South Sudan, in the old South Sudan, okay? Especially against us people of Upper Nile. They killed us in 1991, they killed us in 2013, they killed us in 2016. And they're ready to kill us anytime if they have opportunity to kill us as a Dinka. What assurance that you have if now we vote and we support your idea to be a Republic of Upper Nile, that Nuer, they're not going to use the numbers as a majority and abuse the minority tribe in a Republic of Upper Nile, when are the same people are the one who challenged Dr. James in 1991, are the same people challenged President Kim in 2013. We're making sure that they're not going to challenge any president from any tribe in the future. What assurance that you have that the Nuer, they will stop the behavior of killing, displacement, they believe they're brave, they can kill anybody, they can intimidate anybody. And thank you so much. I'll give it back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we just let those two people ask their question as well, or weigh in, and then will respond at once?
One at a time.
Yes.
Because I may forget.
One of the time is okay?
One at a time, I may forget.
All right. Okay, Kalas, just further welcome and respond to Joseph.
And time also, we should be mindful about time, at least 2 minutes in your response.
Number one, I want to clarify that this issue of we are all suffering everywhere in South Sudan is unfortunate. And that is why I coined the word, there is no solidarity in suffering. So don't use your suffering in any part of South Sudan to water down how I am suffering. That because you are suffering, I have to suffer with you. I reject that. Number two, stop saying that it's not possible and that it is Deng alone. And then some people go as far as saying the people of Upper Nile reject this, or we, the people of Upper Nile, reject this. What makes you think that the people of Upper Nile reject this idea? I don't claim that all the people of Upper Nile want this. No. I even go as low as me and somebody and somebody and somebody. Even if we are two, then we are people of Upper Nile who are not happy, who feel that if we are out of South Sudan, we will not be victims of the excuses that all of you here are actually making. Or it is the government of everybody, that everyone is suffering in South Sudan, that these are probably cartels, they are not related to anybody, they have no geographical location, and that you once supported this government and all these things. So I want to tell you, whether we are 2 or 5, we are from Upper Nile, and we are selling this idea. Whether it succeeds or not, it will not be your business. It will be our business who have come up with this idea. And we have our reasons. And we have our people talking to us about it. So thank you. To be honest with you, I am ashamed of what you just said. That which is a narrative, it is the biggest narrative ever in South Sudan, saying that the suffering of the people in South Sudan is caused either by the Nuers or by people from Upper Nile, which is another reason to leave this country. Because we know who the problem is, and we know who are the problem. But we deflect, because we don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, let's have it, make it 2 minutes each.
Thank you. Comrade Joseph, I will tell you what I've been telling other people. The way you spoke clearly states that you are suffering from that disease I call fear of Bargazal. That if you don't talk like, you don't spread the problem so that everyone else in South Sudan is guilty, you will not feel protected, you will be insecure, and you will not see your name on SSBC being decreed in. This is the only way to get employment at this time.
All right.
People of Bor who are suffering right now do not share in your sentiments, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deng Bol. We go.
I love one question.
No, it's all right. You may bring it up later, Joseph. Thank you. Tona Nhuak, the chance is yours. You have 2 minutes. Please, if you are there, open your mic. Well, loud and clear.
Thank you, moderator, lead moderator, and thank you all moderators. Thank you, Junubin. Dr. Dengbol, I appreciate you for coming today and to be able to hear from the horse mouth. We have been seeing this on social media space, your writings and there's rebuttal coming from the other side. But I'll be very brief. Let me make it succinct. My name is Tona Nhuak, and I am a PhD candidate, one of the Western countries at the moment. And I'm researching in military defection, peace agreement implementation, forced migration, and you name them. But I'll be very brief because of time. I am from Jungle Estate and I'm an Anuak. I am a media professional for over 16 years. I've moved the length and width of the country that we are talking about. I have 5 questions to you, Dengbol. 4 questions to take it back. Dr. Dengbol, you and others, in bracket, the names are not known, are believed to be behind the newly formed, or should I say, the perceived Nile Republic. Your reasons for separation are insecurity, economic collapse, and lack of freedom. Given the above as your addendum reasons, did you consult, and I would want you to take note of the questions I'm asking, did you consult with the other tribes of the Upper Nile? And if yes, did they agree? Where did you conduct the meeting with, when, and who attended that meeting? And which communities in particular from the Upper Nile that alludes to your separation agenda? That's the first question. Second, the communities of the Upper Nile, Dr. Dengbol, are 100% divided, not 90%, 100% divided. For instance, there are issues between Cholo and Nuer. I take you back to the case of 2022 and 2024, the attack of Fashoda, and the alleged killing, almost slaughtering of the king of Cholo. there is an issue between Murle and Nuer. If you have forgotten this, there is also an issue between Low Nuer and the Anyuak of Akobo. For your information, the Anyuak of Akobo are not in Akobo. They are IDPs and they're in the refugees camp as we speak, except from the Anyuak of Greater Pibora Administrative Area. That being said, Mr. Denbol, how would you solve such magnanimous conflict within the Upper Nile when, let's assume, it succeeds to become a Republic of Nile? Third question, to separate or break away from a country, you either do it peacefully by agreement of all the tribes of the Upper Nile or through an active war. How do you succeed in such a precious idea without military? Fourth, which is the last question, Dr. Denbo, are you in the country for the, to organize this physically, to organize this revolution physically? And if not, how would you manage to do that remotely? I think I would stop here because of time. I had actually wanted to bring in or to make sense of how the country is, given my background of the media.
Okay.
But
Thank you so much, Son Anyuak.
Yeah, we will
continue. Guys in the studio, we will continue in the room when our studio close. So continue.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let me answer you, Dictor, and congratulations.
We are not hearing. Isaac Tiang, I think you mute yourself. To the viewers.
Aliens
Thank you.
did not ask permission from anybody. But their cause resonated with what the people of South Sudan were feeling at that time. To come up with an idea, you don't consult. You sell the idea. And what we are doing right now is that we are selling the idea and has already been bought by people, and it will continue. And as people talk and hear some arrogance, deflection, denial of the facts, it makes people more angry. Even the way our people are being treated right now by national security in Bor is a concern. It's like an invasion of people that are trying to get people to stir up something. About the situation, the security situation, the relationship between our communities. Since this idea came up, many people have said, you the people of Upper Nile cannot live together. You are civilized and savages. You cannot. But what they do not know is that we've lived there for centuries. No one in Bor had to seek protection from the Dinka from Bargazal. No one in Ruweng or in Valiant or in Fiji had to seek protection from Bargazal or from Bor simply because they are neighboring the Nuer. But, I mean, our relationship was much, much better all these years until this government started playing this game. And that's why we need, since we are not able collectively to get rid of this government, since the government has beaten all of us to our knees, to the point we just deflect and just paint them with one brush and say it's the government, because we are too afraid to mention names. We want out, and as soon as we have the power to manage our own security and our own resources, we will solve all the historical problems, grievances, and go to the root cause of them and build peace among our communities so that they don't fight themselves anymore. The good thing is the moment you disconnect South Sudan from Upper Nile, you would have reduced the problem by 70%. Right now, between Duke and Peach, and Duke and the community, the Nuer communities, there's no problem. And people continue to talk about Dinka and Nuer, Dinka and Nuer, Dinka and Nuer. And it is fueled from Juba. That's one of the things that we want to get rid of. And finally, somebody said that I did not answer Joseph, but it's the same question that my brother here asked. And I'm glad my brother from Pochala, from Pochala, really the Pochala area, that you have not talked about development. Because I was going to ask you, what do you have? Yeah? Akobo? Akobo, yes. I was going to ask, what do you have? You have nothing. So it's such a government that is being sustained. And when you talk about, if you talk about President T today, someone will come and kill you. And that person, 99.99% is most likely to be coming from Bargazal. How you explain that, I don't know. It will not be an Anuak coming for you. It will be somebody from Bargazal. And it's most likely to be a Dinka. You see? So, Comrade Joseph, who said the Nuers want to kill us, and it is like this, why are they not killing you now? But if there's another political problem, for instance, maybe if Dr. Yang Machar get tribally, politically, and regionally convicted, yes.
They will kill me tomorrow, not today, tomorrow.
There will be a problem. There will be a problem. And if you stand in the way to Juba, you will fight with them because it is the same thing that is being used. The region is being used against them. The tribe is being used against them. Politics is being used against them. You can say that the Nuers are reactionists. And what happens is when they are provoked, they will fight back. When they are oppressed, they will fight back. South Sudanese people by nature cannot be enslaved or oppressed. And this is what the government does to push you. And when you react, you are now a rebel. You are now violent. You are like this. Even the words that came out of your mouth are really bad to a community that you live close to. This idea of because you are a Dinka, you must seek protection from the Dinka, from Bargazal, is in itself very, very wrong.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Deng Bol. I think the clubhouse will be running longer. We left with one person, Nasser al-Din. Nasser al-Din, you will have 2 minutes to ask your questions, and then we will finish up here for the Facebook and YouTube. They also have the question that will not appear. They must be answered already. They should be. So, Nasser al-Din, mic is yours. Open.
شكرا استاذ روك، شكرا جزيلا. I have a question by the way to ask للبول. ما عندي سؤال، لكن ممكن على تعليق بسيط كده. زمن ضيق جدا جدا. الحاجه خلينا نذكر المدير يا اخي، ونذكر الجمهور بتاعه في كل المنصات، الفيسبوك والناس الكلاب هاوس وحقيقه الفيسبوك شاركوا مشاركات كويسه جدا جدا. انا طبعا محبط جدا جدا من خصوصا انا بعرف دين يعني.
معلش كومراد نوردين، can you please speak in English Arabic بتاعت السيد؟ معلش.
انا ما عندي حاجه لك باي ذا واي. انا كلام هنقوله للمنصات هنا.
It's just analyzing in Arabic. It's not asking you a question. Yes.
انا بعرف طبعا، ودي واحده من الحاجات اللي خلتني احس بالاستياء حقيقه من الموضوع بتاعك ده. اخواننا الدقيقتين ده هم كفايه، يعني حناقش الموضوع بشكل مستفيض في الحلقه، لكن خلونا للناس المتابعين في فيسبوك انه يعني استاذ دين طبعا جاب بالبرنامج بتاعه ده، وانا حسب علمي هو عجز تماما يغنى رفاقه في الجيش الاحمر بهذه الفكره يعني. وفي كثير من ابر نايل قاعدين معه هناك في الجيش الاحمر، وهو عجز انه يغناهم بالفكره. ما في زول معه من ابر نايل ثاني صغير، ما في زول معه هنا. هو عارف الكلام ده كويس يعني. ما في زول في الجيش الاحمر بتاع في ابر نايل لك قاعد اجري وذ هيم في الفكره بتاعه ده. وعشان كده انا ما اعرف ليه مسؤول لسه على ابر نايل. كلام عن ابر نايل يعني الاحساس القديم ده ما في حاجه اسمها ابر نايل ده ستيت والكبل بتاعهم ملكات خلاص ما في ابر نايل ثاني. كان من الافضل انه والله يا اخوانا ده ما تقليل من انسانك لكن الطريقه اللي هسه قاعد يتكلموا مع الناس بيقول انه يعني انا ما اقدر نجاري وما اقدر اخش معاه في حوار. عشان كده المهم بتاع الدين دي دكتور دين ولا كان اولويه انه يواجهوا ناس الجيش الاحمر فقط. الفكره دي حصريه هناك يعني ما فكره يروح للناس بالعامه هنا. كفايه التحديات اللي قدامنا بتاعت السبراتيز والناس ما عارف كفايه التحديات دي. هم محتاجين مزيد من يعني من التخييم مواضيع ساكت ما عنده فائده. يعني هي طلعنا بقينا دوله عشان دايرين نخلق ثاني دوله. بعدين يعني هو قال كلام عميق جدا قال يعني المعاناه بتاعته ما يوصف معاناه الناس ثانيين. وصدقين ابرنا له الكريات صار الفراسك ده ناس قاعدين يعانوا معاناه كثير جدا جدا. انت في وورد في ده انت بالنسبه لهم انت في رفاهيه عاليه جدا جدا. يعني حداث الناصر القريبه دي الناس كانوا قاعدين يكوروا ويقول يروحوا ناس لولايات ثانيه ودارين شنو ودارين يحددوا الناس ماشيين هناك. التحديد ده كله قاعد يجي من ابرنا الى ذاته. يعني انت تقول شنو يعني تقول يمكن يتعايش. نعم ما صعب يتعايش لكن التحديد ورانا موجود يعني. فتقولنا كيف انه احنا حنعمل دوله ثانيه جديده اذا كان احنا كجنوبيين بالحجم الكبير ما قدرنا يعني اصواتنا حسب الانفصال. فهذا الكلام ما موضوع تطرحوا لي يعني ما بنقدر ناخذ ونرد فوقه معك لانها فكره يعني رخيصه جدا جدا. والله يا اخوان الفكره بتاعتهم يصيروا له يعني شويه منطقيه ممكن الناس يقولوا يعني انا بجيب فيها يا اخوان انا غالبا ما مبسوط لكن الموضوع هنناقشه بشكل مستفيض عشان الناس كلاب هاوس ما في داعي نمسكها معنا.
لا ما في مشكله. شكرا جزيلا. ما في مشكله ولا شكرا جزيلا. Deng Bolarway, you don't have a question there. He made some analysis briefly, and in the studio here in the Facebook, I need Dr. Abraham Awolich to give his final remarks, and then we let him go. And we have two questions only in comments from Facebook to you that will come after Awolich has left and Majok Makur. So you just hang on there. The clubhouse will be running continuously after we close down here. We'll go back to clubhouse. Comrade Abraham Awolich, the floor is yours to give us your final.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Isaac Deng and Majok Makur and Comrade Deng Bolarway for this wonderful discussion. I think the country needs dialogue. The country is yearning for a meaningful dialogue in terms of the way forward. How do we move from here to a better future? And I think these ideas, such as the proposal of Brother Deng, come out of the fact that the roads to dialogue are closed in the country. There is no political dialogue. There is no social dialogue. The country is rotting away, and few people have taken over the country. They are taking all the resources, taking the power, and everything in their hands. And that is why there is a lot of despair. There is a lot of conflict happening in the country. Because when people are not talking, after they have argued or after there are disagreements, it means that people are fighting. So I want to suggest this, that we need to look critically at the problem. how we define the problem leads us to different solutions. Personally, I look at the problem of South Sudan as a failure and collapse of political system, and a state captured by a few individuals using the power of the president to subject everyone else who does not, who question their hijacking of the state. They subject those people to harassment and to intimidation and to even killing. That type of political space, that kind of political environment does not allow for the growth of or maturity of the political system. And when that happens, people look for other options. And separation may be an idea some people are entertaining because they believe that they maybe resolve their problems. But as we now know, though we have separated from Sudan, we are still struggling. And Sudan is still struggling because we have not looked deeply into the nature of our society and the nature of the country that we want to build. We quickly move to power and resources. And the moment you are looking only at power and resources, you begin to overlook the essential things that keep the country together, and that is the unity of the people. And so now South Sudan is really in a desperate situation, and it is important for those who are in power right now to open up the country to a political dialogue. Otherwise, the things that we fear will become real. We can dismiss all we want, but the longer we keep in this uncertain political environment, the more likely it is that people are going to assert these claims. And they can blame anything, anybody, and any region or any ethnic group for their grievances. So I don't encourage that myself. And I think that those of us who are open-minded, those who are exposed to ideas around the world, we should be careful in terms of how we express our views and in terms of how we put forward solutions to the persistent crisis of governance in our country. I think that dividing up the country further will not help the country. It will weaken us even further, and we could easily become victims of our own neighbors. We could be dominated or robbed of our natural resources because we are small and weak. So what we need right now is to address the leadership failure and the failure and collapse of the political system. That does not need us to divide up. It needs us to come together and force the issue on those who have captured the state, so that we can wrestle our state back and restore the unity of our people and give them their hope of development and cohesion. I think this is what we need at the moment. At the same time, when these ideas come up, I have seen in the social media, a number of people have gone ahead to attack Deng for his disability. I condemn that. I disagree with that. Deng has a brain, and if it is something that needs legs, it needs people to run. Even me, I will not qualify because I'm becoming an old man right now, and there are younger people who can do it faster than me. But if it is something that requires people to think and to talk, Deng has the capacity to do that. And he should not be challenged for his physical disability, but he should be challenged for his ideas. And I think we should really stay away from that, and we should condemn that. We should never remind people of something that is wrong with their bodies. I think that is not That is not the way civilized people debate. We should not make we should not make people feel vulnerable for their physical insecurities and other things related. We should really challenge their ideas only. And I think if we do that, we can foster a better environment, a better culture for us to tackle very difficult issues related to our country. So, Comrade Dengbol, I respect you for who you are as an individual. I don't agree with you on this idea of separating the country up, even though I agree with you that we can explore the question of federalism. It is important. Maybe that is an area where we need to focus, federate the country, and give people more space to govern themselves within the broader framework of South Sudan. If we do that, I think we can solve most of the problems without resorting to separation. And I want you to reconsider your position on that basis, that the country really needs dialogue on the system of governance. And the current government, we all agree on this panel, even the moderators and even the listeners back home, they all agree that the government has failed us. No question about that. Nobody can defend that. But just because the government has failed us does not warrant that we go our own ways. It actually called for us to come together to say this government is ours after all, we want it back. And we want it back in a better shape and a better form that can serve us. And I think if we pursue that, there should be no disagreement among us. And I think if we should continue this conversation along those lines. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Abraham Awolich. Before you leave the platform, I would like to give these two questions from the platform to Dr. Deng Bol, and then Deng will answer you, and also will answer this question. Some question which were referred to. Yes.
Before you had those two questions, I have one question that I want to Comrade Dengbol Aruai. Dengbol Aruai, there is. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes.
We can hear.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Comrade Dengbol.
Yeah, Comrade Aruai, there are allegations going on in social media regarding about the Red Bell movement. The allegation that I've been reading in social media, the people are accusing you that you are behind your Red Bell movement. So can you clarify this? So this, we need to put this in the record too. So go ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I did not take this very seriously, simply because I only found out about Red Belt on the internet on the morning that I think it went viral. That there's a group in Bor called Red Belt and all this. I did not understand what was going on, so I called a few people, and they said that these people have been around for a very long time. And then a few days later, the press statement came out, a video came out. I can swear I don't even know any one of them. I've never met any one of them. But in principle, we go back to the governance in this country, where the lives and property of individuals or individual citizens are not protected. So it is incumbent upon every community to protect themselves. Not necessarily saying that I am protecting myself from the Dinka or from the Nuer or from the Murle or so and so, but just like every human being needs to have a fence, needs to have a gate, a door to the house, and even employ a watchman, has become necessary for every community to have their own protection forces. This has become almost legitimate in this country at this particular time. We are seeing it all over Barkazal, all over Upper Nile, and it's probably cropping up in Equatoria. People of Equatoria are very peaceful people, but they will also have to, they're also being lured into this violent way of life, unfortunately. So I supported or I justified the presence of Red Belt simply because it looks like the security agencies in Bor, and I remember being in Bor in 2000 and, was it 2003? No, 2002. And at that time, there were a lot of national security officers, including the head of national security was from Lake State. Then I met with another captain who is a cousin of Deng Nial from Toy. A lot of people from national security that are there. How in the world can Red Belt operate in Bor for even 6 months, leave alone the fact that they say that it's been there for a year or a year and a half? To be labeled as a rebel movement only because they fought over of who should provide security at the wrestling. And this did not come from Bor. It came from the press statement from Chief Emmanuel that the Red Belt people and the national security people fought over security. And then when they left is when now they began shooting at themselves. That is when they became rebels. Because where is the intelligence report that there is a rebel movement that is coming up in Bor? Nothing. It only happened that day. And on social media, everywhere, Bor are rebels, everything. It showed that there is a plan to destroy Bor by all means. So anything can be used in order to rein in on them. And it has happened now. It's full of national security for no reason. But I say that the Bor people and Red Belt will be exonerated because one, if there has never been any security report from the time it was formed until the day that accident happened between them and the government security forces, then they will tell the investigators. That is one. And if they don't link anything to any rebellion or anybody in rebellion, then they will be exonerated. What came up yesterday, Paul Nang said, you guys come back and you'll be integrated into the army. So all those people who were trying to frame the Boer people so that they find a way to destroy Boer have failed. And it was wrong. And the national security forces that are deployed right now in Boer should just go back. Because the Boer people have never had anything like that. Boer has never raised an army ever to fight the government, this government. Not even 5 people. But to do this. That's why I think there's a lot of bullying happening in this country. I am not associated with Red Belt. I don't know any of them, but I support them 100% wherever they are. If Paul Nang meant what he said, that they will be integrated into the forces and becomes Division 8 or something, then Division 8 should not stay in Malawal. It should go to Anyadi or Raja again and secure all those areas so that nobody goes to harm the Murule, nobody goes to harm the Twitch, the Duke people, and the Nuer people on the other side, and the Anuak people, so that the people of Jamulay can get protection they deserve from what they call their government. But disarming the Boer people and making them the army so that when there is cattle raiding and child abduction happening nearby, they sit and they say, we are a national army, we are not here to get involved in communal problems. I think that would be a mistake of the Boer people to accept. What happened yesterday in that press statement, and I say, it looks like some people don't think before they write. He said they should be interpreted, dismantling it, knowing that in the last 8 months alone, there has never been child abduction or cattle raiding within Bor County. And it was because of this red belt, according to some information. The moment they were flushed out of Bor, in around Bor, now there was cattle raiding reported. The same thing that the Bor people accuse national security of is what is happening right now. How can you have a government that is your enemy and then you expect people to be loyal to it? That is completely wrong. What is happening in Bor is
I have run out of time, comrades. I have to go now.
Yeah. I am not associated. I'm not associated with Red Belt. And the Red Belt people should not surrender unless there are guarantees that they are not going to be executed. If not, they would just rather leave the country and become refugees like all of us in Upper Nile. 70% of the people of Upper Nile are in Kenya, Uganda, and Ethiopia. I visited Penyundu, I visited Tarpam, I visited Gambela. Majority of the Nuer people live there. Upper Nile is only good to the government for oil, nothing else. In fact, it wants to depopulate it so that they can do whatever they want. Only resources. We cannot allow the way the government of Umar Hassan al-Bashir to the way it was treating us for some.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Dengbol, I just hang on a second. I need you to add it on in your comments. Abraham Awolich last statement to you before he leave the room here. He want to leave because we have been here with him for more than 2.5 hours. Thank you.
Yeah. I respect Comrade Awolich. I have deep respect for him. He's a very, very smart man. And I would like the people of South Sudan to listen to him. The arrogance that some people try to show here is probably also going to be one of the reasons that this country cannot stay together. By saying that what I am saying has no ground is wrong, because you do not know who is feeling the same way I am feeling right now. You've heard the marginalization that has happened to the Aliap people of Comrade Abraham Awolich. Perhaps the reason why I'm saying this problem can be solved regionally is that I know how to curve this out. Just like we had South Sudan and there was a way to curve it out. But Comrade Abraham is stuck. He's in the middle of the problem. He cannot curve out Aliap in where it is now. And most of the time, you use military power. Military power, political power is nothing. It is the people that President Kiir has authorized to use military power that are controlling this country. And I do not know how many people from Aliap are high up in ranking. That is a very, very serious problem. Comrade Awolich says, dialogue. We say we have 3 options. No one wants to hear. Why do you want to break away? Who are you? It is like this. That arrogance. The arrogance. We are sick and tired of it. Intimidation on the road, intimidations in the restaurant, intimidation in government, in the military, everywhere you go to, intimidation. It's not going to work anymore. What we need is dialogue. And if we unite through this dialogue, we will be able to remove President Kiir and build a new country of people that will not humiliate and oppress the people of South Sudan again. But if we come to a place like this, and then all you hear is we cannot do this, we can't talk about these people. I mean, we will go in circles, and I'm tired of going in circles. I am someone who knows about this system like anybody else, like Abraham, because we've been around these people. We know them. We know how they think. So if we continue to deflect, we will not get out. To go to the extreme is even better. In Tunisia, it took one man to change the system, and not only there, it went to many countries. I don't know how many countries in Arab world. When he set himself ablaze, when he set himself on fire, because he had no any other choices. I and the other people, since Salva Kiir has become too powerful than all the people of South Sudan, we will set ourselves, no matter how few we are, 5 or 10, we'll set ourselves on fire, and President Kiir's presidency will end with it. We will start it in Upper Nile. We will hold on to the idea of the Nile Republic, and if he comes to say that South Sudan owns Upper Nile, let him try. Every move, he will be the one that will be condemned by the people of South Sudan and by the region and the international community. Why you would be killing people on their own land who are not happy with his leadership? Anybody that is going to come with him, we will consider that person as part of the problem. If Barghazal takes this personally and say that why are you leaving, and they come with President Kiir, then it will confirm that this is a regional government. If it's not a regional government, let President Kiir and his crooks and cartels come to Upper Nile. That is the only thing. But dialogue is important. So, Comrade Abraham, I want to thank you for your service. From PCCA until now, you are living outside the country. And it's not because you've committed any crime. Nothing. You just want the best for all of us. But again, if it was something that can be solved like that, you would have solved it. I would have also solved it. Everybody would have solved it. President Kiir told us that he's looking for a solution. Yajamana, please, I am also looking for a solution. If I find it, well and good for the people of South Sudan. If I am able to find a solution only for the people of Upper Nile, please, let it be.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deng. Taban, thank you. The questions that I were about to read out here, you have already covered some, and even the last question which is supposed to be given to you is being asked by Abraham Adit. That is about the red belt. The last question that I need to post to you before I leave the studio to join you guys in the clubhouse is from Ustaz Saniem. His second question says that, tell us your leadership structure. Let me bring it up here. Tell us your leadership structure, be it military command and political high-level hierarchy. Thank you. And the rest of the questions you have already covered in your answers. So, Comrade Abraham Awolich and Dr. Sunday John and Majog Makur, Vice Mahandis, Michael, thank you for joining us in the Facebook and Clubhouse viewers. The show come to an end here, and the Clubhouse will continue on the other side. Appreciate your comments,
Thank
your participation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll catch up again. May God bless you. Yeah, may God bless Republic of South Sudan. Thank you. Abraham Madid, I yield the mic to you to control the clubhouse until I join you.
Contiara okin you, achiliu, on your orin runga, Contiara okin you, achiliu, Toyina Pia wala rumbe, Kain Ping William, Toyina will wala pibor, Kain Ping William, Toyin Juba, Malatori. Ambio, in Ping William, to in Benti, wala kwaju, kaya wow, in Ping William, to in Malkal, wala Pinyaram, in Ping William, Pandila Legisted in